Hi golfers, Pat Gorman here with another quick video, a nice overview of understanding the degrees of loft and the length of the shafts. And what's really driven this is a little bit of a pet peeve when I'm watching these golf telecasts and I'm hearing these announcers say, oh, can you believe how far so-and-so hit this 7-iron? 199 yards, or their 5-iron. Gosh, you believe that went 245 yards. It's ridiculous how far these players hit it. And I'm just here to tell you, it's the degrees of loft and the length of shaft. That's what's making the ball go that far. It's not like they're miraculously hitting a 5-iron that far. And now these players are great, no question about it. But here's how I want you to understand it. Here is a 7-iron. It's a Wilson Staff 7-iron I used back in the late 80s, early 90s. You can see I hit a few golf balls with it, played a lot of collegiate golf, professional golf with it. And here's the set it came from, 1 through wedge. That was very typical back in the day. But I put this on the latest and greatest Loft and Line machine. This 7-iron has 40.25 degrees of loft, and it's 36.5 inches long. At that time, I would hit this about 150, 55 yards max. Okay, now here's a 7-iron I play with now today. So this is a Titleist 735 CM. Just love this model iron because it's got the muscle back short irons and graduates to cavity back as the clubs get longer. So now this one comes in at 33.5 degrees of loft, almost 7 degrees stronger here than the one I just showed you. Oh, and the other thing, it's an inch longer than this one. Here's a Titleist AP2 7-iron, same loft, 33.5 degrees, same length as this Titleist, and they're both an inch longer than this one. And so that's what manufacturers have done, folks. They've subtly and very steadily have allowed the club get a little longer. They've very subtly decreased the loft. Why would they do that? Well, then people think they're hitting it further. So it's a little bit of smoke and mirrors here. And so I'll guarantee you, if I had in fact, the clubs I play now, and I'm 61 years old. So this 7-iron, I hit this 160, 65. So I'm hitting it 10 yards further now than when I did 40 years ago with this one. Am I magically hitting it that much further? No, it's the equipment and the degrees of loft. Now, in a set of golf clubs, from the wedge, the 9, 8, up to about the 5-iron, there's a 4-degree increment from club to club. And from club to club, it gets a half an inch longer from shaft to shaft. So the set that I play with now, the 9-iron, would be equivalent to the 7-iron I used back in the late 80s. 9-iron. And so that's what's going on, folks. That's what you have to understand. Now, granted, when you see those players on TV, men, women, they're the best of the best. That's why they're on TV. They're phenomenal. And yes, they hit the ball far. But you need to know what their degrees of loft are on the club and the length of the shaft, and also, what that shaft flex is. So I would love to hear the announcers do a little digging, do a little more homework, and find out, okay, the top players maybe for this week, let's get the specs on right through their bag. So when they say, okay, hey, so-and-so's hitting a 7-iron, and oh, by the way, their 7-iron's at 38 inches long and it's 32 degrees. Well, now you have some very pertinent information. And so I would suggest you find out what your lofts are and what the length of the shaft is. And that way you'll know exactly. Now, again, a 7-iron, there's a general range that the lofts would fall within, but there is no standard among manufacturers. In fact, within one manufacturer, based on the model of the iron, the lofts are going to be different. So they could have a Model A 5-iron is 39 inches long. They could have a Model B iron that's 38.5 inches long. And the lofts can be different. So that's what I want you to understand, is that when you're listening to TV, just kind of ignore when they say a number iron. Because that doesn't mean anything. And the thing is, good players now, granted, the lower the handicapper, good ball strikers, when you ever see them where if they know they're going to a golf course or to an area on the planet where it's going to be really windy, let's say out in Hawaii or over in Europe, it's going to be really windy. Well, they might bend those lofts a degree or two stronger, keep the ball down. If they're going to a golf course where, let's say, the conditions are really firm, especially the greens, so they need to have the ball coming in much on a steeper descent as much as they can. So they might bend them a degree or two weak. And so just like race car drivers, when they go from track to track, they're not driving the exact same car on all those different tracks. They are modifying that car based on whatever they need to do with the tires, with the weights, whatever they need to do. I'm not a car guy, but I know that they are adjusting the car to the track to maximize their ability to win on that track. And so that's the moral of the story here with this video, is that you understand, just from an informational standpoint, that I need to know the degrees of loft on my irons, and I need to understand the length. And so, geez, if I'm a player where maybe I hit the ball a little higher than I want, can I bend it down a degree or two stronger? Or maybe I'm not hitting as far as I would like, and I don't have the time to practice. Well, maybe I would extend them a half an inch, make them a little longer, maybe an inch long. It depends. But you want to get with somebody who's a professional. They understand the fitting process. They understand the equipment changes and what that would need based on your swing. So I hope you find this helpful. Any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave those below. Big thank you to all of you who have subscribed, and I greatly appreciate all of you who share these videos. Until that next golf shot, enjoy the process of improving.